Right. Hello again. We're here again with Erica to continue the conversation we've been having. So, hello, Erica.
Hi, hi.
And you said before you're a student landlord. How are you in specifically in Southampton? How are you finding that the market, the academic year you're in now, and the new one coming up?
So for 1920, we are full.
Right.
So we had a good rental year last year. And I know, not wanting to repeat the video that you did with some other landlords about rents and things, that we have maintained and asked all of our tenants to continue paying rent
Mm.
for the remainder of the tenancy. 61% of our houses were in some form occupied, and for the rest that were where the tenants chose to go home, they still left their belongings behind.
So you can't
So
rent them.
it's it's not as if I could mitigate the situation by renting the
Mm.
properties to somebody else, because they still had their belongings in them. But we we have 19 houses still to rent for 2021.
Mm.
That's probably the worst year for us. I know that the demographics are very low, so there's no the numbers of 18-year-olds in the country are at its lowest point for the last decade. And in particular, Solent University's numbers are significantly down. So, and
Yeah.
obviously competition with all the private rented blocks that are popping up everywhere. It's a hard game to be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I was just trying to open our own news site up because I remember we put something up a couple of days ago about the universities who said they're going to reopen very soon. I can't remember you've got two universities, haven't you?
Yeah, so Southampton announced last week that their campuses were going to be opening in September.
Right.
But if you read what the Vice Chancellor wrote, he was very vague about quite what to expect by the opening and to what capacity they would be
Right.
opening. So,
Yeah.
and they said that more details would follow at the end of June.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but I guess they have to, for the intake that are coming in September, they need to provide some indication
Yeah.
as soon as they can, so that they can secure students for next year. I know there was some discussion about a potential 20% deferral rate for incoming first years this year. If your experience at university is not what you thought it was going to be, then it would be a good decision to defer.
Mm.
But,
And
so.
looking at the list we put up, we've got a list of universities that have said they're going to do something, albeit reduced, as you just said. But there's a few who haven't said anything yet, and one of which is Solent appears not to have said anything yet. And that's in your area, isn't it? So,
Yes, yeah. They do a lot of vocational courses, and
right.
it's quite practical. So I guess that makes it harder for them to continue with the teaching and academic support, because um, it's not as theoretical as most other courses. So I'm sure that's probably why they are waiting. But interestingly, we are still conducting viewings
Yeah.
for Solent University students, and I have been asking them, are they not concerned that the university might not be opening in September to a certain capacity? Why do they want to live? Why are they booking their accommodation? Why are
Mm.
they not waiting? And there is a bit of a mix of students that like living away from home,
Yeah.
don't want to be living with mum and dad,
Yeah.
and they are quite happy to do a bit of online studying and have some contact, some face-to-face teaching, but still live in the student house and still live
Yeah.
with their peer group, so that
Yeah.
they can still collaborate together and share ideas and do work together. So
Uh,
well, I am optimistic that all of our tenants will take up their accommodation come September. So.
And I don't. These are presumably too far away from you, but Chichester and Portsmouth are also on the list of not sure at the moment. Do you
Not
go that
sure.
far, or
Yeah.
is that
No,
beyond?
no. Yeah.
So I know a lot of other. There was over the weekend. There was So we're doing this on June the 6th, so I can never remember the date. And last weekend there was a lot of talk in the press, doom and gloom for student landlords. I have to say, the student landlords I talked to all giving me the same answer, which is basically, if you've got the right product in the right position at the right price, then you'll let it. It's the people that have just got the wrong property somewhere or another. It's too far out, it's not being well looked after, or whatever. They're the people that seem to be struggling. So, you know.
I think the quality and the standard of the accommodation is really key now, because a lot of first year students live in brand new purpose-built blocks, and they then expect their accommodation in a private house to be a similar quality and standard and modern. So yeah, gone are the days where you are a student landlord and you don't spend any money on your house. It's you know, you need to be having some planned maintenance or redecoration, recarpeting programs to make sure your property is kept up to a good standard and continues to be a good standard. So I think those that are not interested in their houses and just use it as a for a return, then I'm sure they will struggle.
And do you have any purpose-built blocks around you? I think you do have, don't you?
We're surrounded by them. Particularly in the city centre, where a lot of sort of commercial buildings that are sort of now empty are being converted into student accommodation. It seems to be the planners in Southampton are readily giving planning permissions for more and more student purpose-built blocks going up. Luckily for the University of Southampton, the position of the university being in Highfield is surrounded by predominantly residential houses. There aren't any sites that could become purpose-built blocks, so we're a little bit protected by the residents in Highfield on that one. So,
but I know in Brighton that where they are going up, they're top dollar. So you know, the poor old students getting charged a huge amount of money to go into those.
Yeah, so one of our tenants who's been with us for 2 years, she is moving into a purpose-built room with some of her friends, and I asked her why she chose to do that. And she was very much, they offer quite a lot of perks, so it's all included. There's security, there's someone on site all the time, there's a gym which you can use for free. I mean, I'm not quite sure what sort of standard of equipment are in there, and but the whole package in itself seemed to be quite a good deal. And she also went, well, my dad's paying the rent, so
I don't care.
Yes, there was a little element of that. So so yeah, that's what we're up against. But I think it's keep your houses well and keep rents affordable and provide a good service, and we'll, you know, there's no reason why there aren't enough students to keep renting.
Stand a fighting chance. All right, Erica, it's been lovely talking to you. So thank you so much for your insight into all of this. I have no doubts whatsoever we'll be catching up again with you soon. So thank you and goodbye.
Okay, bye.